Listen to me now. This is not just another day. This is a divine shift, and you cannot treat it like ordinary time. The atmosphere around you is not random. It's soaked in my presence because I have already gone ahead of you. I saw the traps, the potholes, the invisible snares the enemy set against you. I saw the fear that tried to ambush your thoughts, the lies that tried to tie your identity to shame, and the heavy fog that tried to cloud your decisions. But I stepped into your future and cleared them all. Yes, before you even prayed about it, I began the work. Before you even noticed the resistance, I had already silenced it. You may have felt stuck, unsure, or delayed, but I want you to know, it was not a pause, it was a preparation. What you are about to walk into has already been blessed with my fingerprints. I have whispered to the winds, make way for my child. I have spoken to the ground, hold them up. And I have commanded the door, open wide when they arrive. You are not walking into uncertainty, you're stepping into fulfillment. What looked like wasted time is now becoming divine timing. What felt like opposition is now turning into opportunity. I have gone before you because what I am leading you into requires nothing short of supernatural access. You won't need to beg for it, force it, or manipulate it. It's already yours. My favor has made the crooked places straight. I didn't just go ahead of you to inspect the journey. I went to bless it. You're stepping into answered prayers. Some you forgot you even prayed. You're stepping into spaces where your name has already been spoken in rooms you haven't entered. You're stepping into a season where what was closed for years will now open without resistance. This is not accidental, and this is not fragile. What I have set before you is firm, rooted, and sealed by my authority. Do not let fear rob you of this moment. Do not let hesitation blur what I've made clear. My child, this is not the time to doubt. This is the time to move and move boldly. Because what you're about to experience will not only prove my faithfulness to you, it will become the testimony that breaks chains for others watching you. This isn't just a blessing for you to enjoy. It's a breakthrough for generations connected to you. That's how far I've gone ahead. That's how thoroughly I've cleared the path. So take the step. Take the leap. Walk like you know the King of Heaven paved the road beneath your feet. Because I did. And every inch of it is drenched in favor, mercy, and victory. Your path is blessed. Now walk it. Let me speak this loudly into your spirit. It's no longer time to wonder who you are. It's time to walk in it. You've been hidden, not forgotten. The confusion you've wrestled with, the silence you've sat in, the questioning that kept echoing in your chest. It wasn't punishment. It was a covering. I was keeping you shielded, not sidelined. Before anyone celebrated your talents, I established your purpose. Before anyone ever recognized your potential, I stamped your soul with a holy assignment. This world didn't make you, so it doesn't get to define you. I handpicked you before you had words to speak, and even when others labeled you by your weakness, I identified you by my will. That battle you fought in the dark, the tears that fell when no one saw, the cries for clarity, I was listening, shaping, securing your calling. I allowed the waiting to refine your foundation because your future needed depth, not decoration. The time for doubting is over. You're not just entering a new chapter. You are the shift. Everything that didn't make sense is about to serve its purpose. The pain that tried to steal your name will now be the proof that my promise has your name on it. You didn't miss your moment. You were being built for it. I didn't bring you through the fire to let you blend in. I brought you through to make you stand out with the glow of my glory upon you. And now, the stage I prepared is opening, not for applause, but for assignment. You're not rising by luck. You're rising by lineage, the divine kind. That pull in your heart that's kept you restless, that ache that wouldn't let you settle. It was me all along, reminding you that you were not created for average. And now I'm saying it clearly. Walk boldly into the identity I placed inside you. The time of being overlooked is done. I'm not just calling you out of hiding, I'm announcing you. You are mine, marked by my design, sealed with purpose, fueled by heaven, and no force, no voice, no circumstance can strip what I've assigned. You're not random. You're not rejected. You're revealed. It's time. Pause everything and hear me. What you called wasted time, I was using a sacred construction. When it looked like progress was frozen and hope was flickering, I was deep at work behind the scenes, engineering strength into your spirit. Not a single delay was pointless. Not one unanswered cry was ignored. I saw the frustration build inside you, saw your eyes search the sky for clarity, and I responded not by removing the weight, but by filling the weight with weight, heavenly weight. A weight of wisdom, a weight of endurance, the weight of maturity that shallow seasons could never produce. What looked like routes were actually hidden training grounds. You weren't being denied, you were being deepened. I was setting internal pillars that could carry the destiny you're about to carry. You didn't just survive the waiting, you were shaped by it. That version of you before the detour, it wasn't ready. But now, after the breaking, after the stillness, after the loneliness, I look at you and say, now it's time. Your roots have gone so deep, hell itself can't shake you. The silence that once made you question your worth has now become the silence that steadied your hearing, because you learned how to hear me when no one else was speaking. You discovered what real trust feels like. And now you'll see how I use that trust to unlock doors no man can shut. Every tear that fell in confusion has watered the soil you're about to reap from. Every step that felt pointless is now forming the exact coordinates to where I need you positioned. You thought you were wandering, but you were being navigated. I needed to get the noise out of the way, strip off the rush, strip off the applause, and build someone who could handle what others only dream of. My child, what's approaching would have crushed the old you, but now, you've been readied. No longer reactive, now rooted. No longer desperate for attention, now devoted to mission. Every lesson, every scar, every stretch of silence was divine architecture. I didn't rush the process because I love you too deeply to let you step into something prematurely and break under the weight of it. So instead, I carved out capacity, stretched your faith, and taught your soul how to walk even when it didn't feel anything beneath its feet. And now, as this chapter turns, you'll realize it didn't just happen. You were fortified for this. What is coming is not soft, it's sacred. It's not convenient, it's consecrated. And only those who've been molded in my timing can carry the weight of what I'm releasing. So lift your head. Egg off regret. The weight with it a wall that was a womb. And now that what I planted has fully formed, you'll walk into spaces and realize I wasn't just delaying you, I was preparing everything. Your moment has arrived not because the clock says so, but because your soul is finally ready. This is why the detour existed, and this is where the unveiling begins. Enough. No more lowering your light to keep others comfortable. No more minimizing your assignment to fit in tiny places you were never built for. I have watched you tuck away your brilliance, silence your truth, and downplay the fire I placed in your soul just to survive the noise around you. But I did not call you to survive opinions. I called you to walk in the roar of destiny. Every voice that told you you're too much, or you're not enough, was nothing more than a distraction trying to muffle my instructions. But I have not gone silent. I have not changed my mind about you. What I placed within you is still echoing through eternity, and now I'm amplifying it louder than every lie that tried to drown it out. You don't need anyone's permission to be who I called you to be. I did not consult the crowd when I wrote your purpose, and I'm not about to start now. Let the volume of my promise shake off every leftover residue of insecurity and shame. Let it crack the chains of comparison and crush the false narratives that made you second-guess your value. This is not the time to blend in. This is the season to step forward, with the sound of heaven backing every step. I'm giving your voice a fresh strength, not for applause, but for impact. The tone of your faith is shifting from whisper to declaration. You will no longer rehearse doubts in your mind. You will now declare destiny from your mouth. That trembling you feel, that's not fear, that's power awakening. That's legacy stirring. That's the voice of a king rising from within you, announcing, "This one is mine." When they tried to quiet you, they didn't realize they were pushing you straight into my hands. When they dismissed your worth, they positioned you for my spotlight, the kind no man can steal and no critic condemn. Your confidence will no longer be tied to human validation. It will flow from a place of holy conviction, the kind that cannot be manufactured, only birthed through intimacy with me. Let them say what they want. Let them speculate. Their noise has expired. My word is forever. And right now, that word over you is rising. You're not weak. You're not invisible. You are a voice in this generation, not to echo culture, but to carry my breath. You will no longer trade your voice for peace. You will speak, and atmospheres will change. You will show up, and darkness will shift. Because the sound that's coming from you isn't your own, it's mine. It carries authority. It carries breakthrough. It carries heaven. So lift your head. Take a deep breath. I'm about to use what others tried to mute to bring deliverance to many. This is why the resistance was loud, because your rise will be louder. Let the volume of your purpose drown every lingering doubt. Now speak. The silence is over, and your rise has begun. Stop trying to measure what's next by what feels safe. I am not calling you into comfort. I am pulling you into fulfillment. You keep looking for familiar signs, old confirmations, footsteps that match what you've seen before. But this path hasn't been walked by anyone before you, because it was crafted specifically for you. What you're feeling is not confusion, it's transition. What feels unsettling is actually holy ground calling you higher. I know it feels foreign. I know everything in you wants to return to what you recognize, to what you've mastered, to what doesn't challenge your faith. But I didn't design you to stay in what you've already conquered. I designed you to live in the stretching, in the surrender, in the space where I am the only one who can make it work. The next chapter will not be built by comfort zones. It will be established through obedience. And obedience rarely feels easy. I never asked you to understand everything. I asked you to trust me completely. If you wait for everything to make sense before you move, you'll miss what I've already prepared. You weren't made to walk in circles around your own logic. You were built to walk by divine instruction. And now, I am instructing you to move. Not because you figured it all out, but because I've already gone ahead and made the way ready. The unknown you're afraid of is already under my authority. What seems uncertain to you is already secure in me. I am not calling you to survive this season. I am inviting you to thrive in faith. Every blessing I've spoken over you is not waiting at the end. It's waiting in every step you take forward. And if you hesitate, if you keep hesitating until you feel ready, you'll delay doors that are meant to swing wide open now. What you fear is actually the evidence that this is divine, because if it didn't require faith, it wouldn't require me. And I am not leaving you to figure this out alone. I'm right beside you, whispering direction, releasing strength, steadying your pace. You don't need a map when you have my presence. You don't need all the details, you just need to know that I've said go. I will not let you fall when you step in faith. I will not abandon the one who dares to believe me when everything feels new. You've trusted me with your heart, now trust me with your movement. I am stirring doors to open the moment your foot touches the threshold. I am shifting atmospheres in rooms you haven't entered. I am preparing resources before your hands reach out. But none of it will activate until you move forward. It's not about ease, it's about obedience. You don't need to be fearless. You just need to be willing. The discomfort you feel right now is not a stop sign. It's a launch signal. Get up. Shake the doubt off. Take the step even if your knees are trembling. I will honor your motion with miracles. I will meet your courage with confirmation. And I will flood the unfamiliar with favor the moment you trust me more than your comfort. You are not stepping into emptiness. You are stepping into everything I've been waiting to give you. Before you misunderstand what you've walked through, let me explain what it truly was, not a curse, but construction. The situations that left you questioning your progress, the seasons that made you feel stuck, the moments you thought I'd turn my face away, none of it was punishment. It was placement. I was carving something uncommon, something that wouldn't resemble the roads others take. That's why you couldn't follow their footsteps. That's why what worked for them didn't work for you. Because what I'm building in your life doesn't come from imitation. It comes from intimacy with me. The struggles that seemed random were actually precise assignments I allowed to stretch your vision and expose deeper reservoirs of faith you never knew were there. And while others misread your silence, your battles, your tears, I was drawing a path that wasn't just for you, but for those who will follow behind you. I don't build quick things. I build eternal things. And eternal things are carved with time, pressure, resistance, and trust. That's what's been happening behind the scenes. While the world called it a delay, I called it depth. While they labeled it loss, I labeled it layers being added. Layers of discernment. Layers of spiritual maturity. This road has not been easy, but it has been sacred. You may not see it yet, but your scars are about to become signs, not of pain, but of purpose. You are not disqualified because of what you've endured. You are distinguished. My hand was never removed from your life, not for a second. Even when you felt abandoned, I was anchoring you. Even when doors slammed shut, I was rerouting you with my sovereignty. Your uniqueness made the journey different, but different doesn't mean defective. You were never behind. You were just being built with a blueprint no one else could interpret. Stop comparing your timeline to theirs. They weren't carrying what you carry. And because your weight is different, your way had to be different. You weren't delaying. You were being developed. Even the pain had purpose. The betrayal purified your motives. The loneliness fine-tuned your hearing. The disappointment deepened your hunger for me. That's why you survived it. That's why it didn't destroy you. Because my fingerprints were on every twist in the path. And now that the carving is almost complete, what I've shaped will begin to shine. What was once misunderstood will be marveled at. They'll look again and see that what they thought was failure was actually formation. You are not a victim of hardship. You are a vessel of glory in the making. And I don't waste anything. Not one trial. Not one setback. Not one tear. I have counted them all and woven them into the path that leads to the exact place I always intended for you. You didn't miss anything. You're arriving right on divine time. And the beauty of this road will soon be revealed, not because it looked perfect, but because it was carved by me. You are walking a custom path, one that I have personally blessed, shaped, and prepared with my own hand. I didn't call you merely to follow. I designed you to carry my presence. What I've been doing in you wasn't only for your strength or survival. It was for manifestation. You see, this season is not about performance. It's about presence. I'm not standing beside you hoping you make it. I've made my home within you, and I'm moving through your hands, your words, your steps. I am not distant. I'm indwelling. And the shift you're about to witness will not be credited to natural ability, cleverness, or mere hard work. It will be traced back to me. Because what's flowing through you now is not the same as what was once in you. You've been emptied of the things that once cluttered your purpose, and now you've made room for me. Not for religion. Not for routine. For real communion. You gave me access to the places you tried to hide, the quiet doubts, the secret fears, the inner wounds, and I transformed them into vessels of my glory. The oil that's pouring out of you wasn't manufactured. It came from the crushing, from the pressing, from the moments where surrender was your only option. And now, I will use what came through your breaking to heal others. Your journey was not just preparation, it was purification. Now, when you move, you won't just bring comfort, you'll carry conviction. When you speak, it won't be empty words. It will be my breath upon the sound. What's rising from you now cannot be explained by human logic, because it was birthed by divine exchange. I took your weakness and gave you authority. I took your wounds and turned them into wells of living water. What's ahead of you is not just a breakthrough. It's a release. A release of what I've been growing in hidden places. I placed fire in your bones that no storm could extinguish. I planted wisdom in your spirit that no critic could contaminate. And now, the world will encounter me through you, not because you're trying to impress, but because you allowed me full access. This season won't be about striving. It will be about surrender. You'll walk into rooms, and my presence will go before your words. You'll touch lives without needing a platform. You'll release healing without needing recognition. Because this isn't your performance, this is my presence. I will confirm what's been cultivated. I will validate what's been invisible. I will highlight what's been hidden. Not for the sake of applause, but for the sake of assignment. You're not rising by accident. You're rising by anointing. And those who encounter you won't be encountering a person filled with ambition. They'll be encountering the overflow of the one who lives inside of you. That's why it's been so intense. That's why the pressure was so personal. Because I wasn't just preparing to walk with you. I was preparing to walk through you. And what I do through you will not carry your name. It will carry mine. So make room. I am taking over the space you surrendered. And what's coming through you next will bear my holy mark. Stop measuring yourself by clocks that were never mine. Stop racing against expectations that don't carry my approval. I didn't place you on earth to match the rhythm of the world. I planted you in my timeline, where every detail unfolds with divine precision. You've been glancing sideways, comparing your movement with others, wondering if you missed something, feared you've fallen behind. But listen closely now. I don't operate by the ticking of human calendars. I govern your life by alignment, not urgency. Your season hasn't been delayed, it's been preserved. While others may sprint ahead by appearance, what I'm building through you is rooted in legacy. I don't rush what I treasure. The things I bless are not shallow, they're deep, steady, and unshakable. The enemy wants you distracted, checking timelines, worrying about age, milestones, and progress. But I need you focused on faithfulness. Because when the appointed moment arrives, it will require you to catch up. It will require you to show up. And you will be ready, not because you ran, but because you trusted. You are not overlooked. You are hidden in the safety of my timing. What I have ordained for you cannot be intercepted, fast-tracked, or taken. You are not in competition. You are in covenant. And that covenant guarantees that your portion cannot be stolen, your path cannot be blocked, your promise cannot be transferred. When I bless a life, it doesn't have to hustle, it just has to obey. To exhale. Let go of the pressure to perform on someone else's clock. Let go of the panic that says you're late. I am the one who authors your moments, and I've never been early or late. I'm always exact. What looks like slowness is actually setup. What feels like a pause is often protection. If I haven't opened the door yet, it's not because I forgot. It's because I'm perfecting the atmosphere behind it. And when I say now, nothing can delay it. Not man, not mistake, not even your own uncertainty. I redeem time. I restore years. I accelerate outcomes when the heart is aligned. You're not on the world's schedule. You're on heaven's. And in heaven, time bows to purpose. You'll see how everything aligns when I release it. Opportunities that once passed you by will circle back under my authority. Resources that seemed unreachable will flow freely into your hands. People who once didn't see you will now be drawn not to your status, but to my spirit within you. And when it happens, it won't be chaos. It will be confirmation. That's how you'll know it's me. No striving. No scrambling. Just supernatural unfolding. I am not moved by pressure. I am moved by alignment. When you walk in sync with me, you won't just arrive on time, you'll walk into moments that were waiting for you to show up. Moments that no one else could fill because they were made with your name on them. So stop doubting. Stop rushing. Let me govern the rhythm of your becoming. Rest in the assurance that my timeline is always flawless. You are not failing. You are forming. You are not forgotten. You are being finished. And when the fullness of time meets your obedience, you will see what I've been crafting in silence. You'll realize that the blessing on your path was never delayed. It was destined. And now it's coming into view. Tonight, I am confronting the quiet torment that's been lingering behind your smiles and beneath your strength. You haven't spoken it out loud, but I have seen it. A heaviness that descends when no one's around. Erasing thoughts that will settle. The endless cycle of what-ifs that echo through your mind when the world gets quiet. You've learned how to function while fractured, how to keep going even when questions flood your soul. But I never intended for you to carry this weight alone. I see how you rehearse the fears, how you mentally prepare for the worst, how you brace yourself for disappointment even when you're hoping for breakthrough. But my child, this is the moment I draw a line. No longer will fear be the voice that controls your outlook. No longer will insecurity write the narrative of your future. Those whispers that crept in while you were weary, they didn't come from me. They came to drain you, distract you, and drown out my truth. But now, I am stepping into that space and I am releasing a peace that is not circumstantial. It's foundational. My peace doesn't come from everything being figured out. It comes from being anchored in me when nothing makes sense. The kind of peace I give silences internal storms. It quiets the restless heart. It settles the anxious mind. I'm not asking you to fight these thoughts with your own strength. I'm asking you to yield to me in the very place where those doubts shout the loudest. Let my presence override the panic. Let my word rise above the noise. Let my spirit fill the places that have felt hollow and uncertain. You don't need to prove anything to me. I already know the battle you've been in. I've seen every hidden tear, every time you tried to smile through the ache, every time you wrestled with the fear that maybe you misunderstood me. What you didn't. What you heard from me before still stands. The promise didn't change. The pressure just got louder. But now, I'm speaking peace over your process. You're not unraveling. You're being refined. And where the enemy tried to inject panic, I'm now pouring clarity. Where confusion crept in, I'm now restoring confidence. Your mind will no longer be a battlefield. It will become a sanctuary. Not because everything is perfect, but because I'm present. The thoughts that told you you're not enough. Silence. The lies that said it's too late. Woken. The fear that said you'll fail again. Cast out. My peace is not passive. It's powerful. It doesn't just comfort, it confronts. And tonight, I am confronting every voice that has tried to override mine. My voice is gentle, but it's firm. My truth is tender, but it's final. You don't need more strength. You need stillness. Be still and know that I am God, not just in the world, but in your world. In your mind. In your body. In your home. In your thoughts. I reign there too. You are not at war with yourself, you are walking into a new realm of rest. I'm lifting the heaviness. I'm clearing the fog. I'm releasing clarity that doesn't come from logic, but from being held in my hands. The torment stops here. The fear bows now. The spirals end tonight. Not because you fought harder, but because I stepped in and took authority. You're not alone in the dark. I'm with you, and I am light. And where I am, peace is not optional. It's inevitable. Let me show you what really happened during the shaking. It didn't destroy you, it revealed you. I know the winds felt violent. I know the waves seemed endless. I know everything around you told you it was over. You braced for collapse. You expected to be swept away. And yet, here you are. Still standing. Still breathing. Still seeking me. That storm didn't win. It only exposed the strength I'd been forming in the secret places of your soul. You assumed that hardship meant you were off course, but it was the very evidence that you were right where I needed you to be. I never promised calm seas. I promised unwavering presence. The storm wasn't proof of failure. It was proof of affirmation. When the surface cracked, the depth of your faith emerged. When the thunder rolled, your foundation didn't give way. That's because I built it myself. When you were asking me to calm the chaos around you, I was anchoring the core within you. And now, you've seen what you're made of, not because you were strong, but because I held you when you had nothing left. What was meant to break you became the very thing that proved your endurance. You didn't just survive. You deepened. The surface blessings faded, and that's when you discover what couldn't be shaken. My voice, my truth, my covenant with you. The relationships that left, the comfort that vanished, the plans that collapsed. All of it stripped away the noise, and what remained was real. What remained was us. You and me. In the storm, under the weight, through the fire. I saw you hold on when everything told you to let go. I saw you worship with trembling hands. I saw you keep walking when your knees barely held. And I want you to know, none of that was wasted. That storm wasn't random. It was refinement. It revealed the grit I placed in you, the courage I cultivated, the unshakable trust that wasn't born from convenience but from confrontation. And now, you walk different. Not with arrogance but with assurance. Not with pride, but with perspective. Because you've seen what I can do when everything else falls apart. You've seen that peace isn't found in the absence of struggle. It's found in the middle of it. When my hand holds you steady. That's the part you didn't realize. The roots I planted were never visible. But the storm pulled back the soil and revealed something unmovable. That's your legacy now. People will see the fruit, but they will know the wind you withstood. They'll taste the sweetness, but they'll never feel the storm you faced to get there. But I know, and I honor it. You didn't curse me when it raged. You clung to me. And now, I will use what tried to bury you as the very ground where blessings burst forth. The winds may have roared, but they couldn't uproot what I planted. The flood may have risen, but it couldn't wash away the destiny I wrote. And now, the same voice that spoke peace over the waves is speaking promise over your journey. You are emerging with more than just survival. You are emerging with substance. The kind that cannot be faked. The kind that carries weight in the spirit. The kind that only comes from enduring what most would have fled. So don't resent the storm. Don't regret the shaking. Don't wish away the rain. It revealed what was eternal within you. And now, what's rising from this soil won't just grow, it will flourish. Not because the storm passed, but because you remain. And I remained with you. And what we built in the wind will now stand through every season to come. The silence they mistook for absence was the stage I was setting for my glory. You've been bypassed, underestimated, and labeled incorrectly. They sized you up based on what they could see, never knowing what I was forming where their eyes could not reach. Some walked past you. Some dismissed you. Others didn't think you had what it takes, not because you lacked value, but because they couldn't discern your anointing. But I never needed their applause to move. I've been working in the unseen, and now, I'm preparing to display what only I could do. This isn't about revenge. This isn't about proving yourself. This is about my evidence being made public. You don't need to convince anyone of what's on your life. I will make it unmistakable. What they thought was failure will be the foundation I use to elevate you. What they assumed was your ending is going to be the launching point of something beyond their comprehension. You never needed to beg for validation. You were already chosen. You never had to explain your vision. I gave it to you, and I will breathe on it. Those who questioned your silence will now hear the sound of victory that only I could produce. And those who were certain you missed it will soon wonder how you stepped into what they never imagined possible. It's not coincidence. It's my hand. I don't expose to humiliate. I reveal to glorify. I am about to put you in positions that no rhythm could reach, no connection could secure, no effort could arrange. Not because you earned it, but because you endured. Not because you shouted, but because you surrendered. You stayed in the shadows while others chased spotlight. And now, I'm calling you forward. They won't just see results. They'll see me written all over it. It will be evident that you didn't climb. You were lifted. That you didn't fight your way in, you were invited. That you didn't manufacture your influence. You were appointed. And in that moment, all the rejection will make sense. All the closed doors, unanswered messages, lost opportunities, they were protecting the purity of what I was building. Because what I release now must not be tainted by pride, bitterness, or ambition. I had to make sure your heart could carry the weight without cracking. I had to ensure that when the spotlight came, you would reflect my light, not your own. That's why I allowed the isolation. That's why I allowed you to be the one nobody saw coming. Because the ones they never expected are the ones I love to use most, not to impress, but to impact. You will not need to say a word. The fruit will speak. The results will confirm. The transformation will declare that something holy happened here. And when they see it, it won't be about you. It will be about me, working through you. Let them look. Let them wonder. Let them reconsider. Not so your name can be lifted, but so my name can be magnified. You waited well. You walked humbly. You trusted me when no one else could see the reason. And now, I will honor your posture with evidence that no one will be able to deny. What's coming is not subtle. It is deliberate. It is divine. And it is drenched in the kind of grace that cannot be explained, only experienced. And those who overlooked you will soon say, "The Lord has done this." The pain you endured will no longer be a private story. It's becoming public evidence of my power. What once brought you to your knees, what drained you emotionally, what kept you awake in the darkest hours, I am transforming it, not just so you can move on, but so you can move forward with purpose. You see, I never allowed the battle to break you. I allowed it to reveal me in the middle of it. While others saw chaos, I saw craftsmanship. While you questioned why, I was working on how. And now, I'm showing you the result. Not just healing, but wholeness. Not just recovery, but redemption. The places that once bled will now become places where rivers of life flow from. What once looked like a mess is being arranged into a message. I never let you go through fire to come out empty-handed. You're walking out with something that cannot be taken: testimony, power, and spiritual authority born from real warfare. Every scar that remains is not a mark of defeat. It is a symbol of survival, a seal that says, "This one went through it and didn't give up." I was there in every cry, every setback, every breakdown. But now I'm showing you what beauty from ashes really looks like. The enemy meant to keep you quiet through that storm. But I am using that very storm to release a sound through you that carries freedom for others. I don't erase scars, I anoint them. I breathe life into what others see as loss. And I cause what tried to bury you to bloom instead. You're not just getting through this. You're coming out with fire in your eyes and healing in your voice. The journey you thought disqualified you has actually qualified you to speak with authority others can't fake. Because your story isn't theory. It's proof. It's real. It's raw. It's redeemed. And it's time to stop hiding it. I'm not asking you to revisit your past in shame. I'm inviting you to reveal how I met you there and rewrote it with mercy. You're not the same person who entered that battle. You've been reshaped by divine hands. And what you carry now is not just wisdom, it's weight. It's the evidence of endurance. It's the fragrance of having walked through fire and come out carrying heaven's aroma. You don't need to pretend it didn't hurt. You don't have to act like it was easy. What matters now is that you came through with me, and that means the story doesn't end in pain. It ends in purpose. I'm lifting the shame. I'm reversing the narrative. I'm declaring that the battlefield you cried on is becoming the ground where others will rise because of your testimony. And you don't have to force the moment. I will orchestrate the release. I will draw the hearts that need to hear what I did for you. You'll speak, and healing will follow. You'll show up, and lives will shift. Not because you're perfect, but because you're marked. Marked by grace. Marked by survival. Marked by me. Let the world see the light in the very places they thought would stay dark. Let them witness the beauty that came from brokenness. You've walked through enough night, it's time to shine with the dawn. And I'll be standing beside you, pointing to your scars and declaring, this is where I carried them. This is where I made them strong. There is a shift happening in you that doesn't require explanation. It requires stillness. You don't need to prove the process I've taken you through, because what I'm about to reveal through your life will silence every doubt without you saying a word. Let others wonder. Let them guess. Let them try to figure out how you've remained grounded, how your peace hasn't shattered, how your eyes still carry light after all the darkness. What's coming will not need validation. It will radiate with undeniable clarity. The change I'm forming within you is not for temporary display. It is for eternal impact. I've been doing something too deep for words. And now, the evidence will be impossible to ignore. You've carried this season quietly. You pressed through in hiddenness. You've allowed me to rewire your intentions, clean out what no longer fits your purpose, and refine the posture of your heart, all without seeking credit. And that is why I am elevating you without the need for noise. I'm not promoting you to popularity. I'm positioning you for power, the kind that can only come from those who have let me transform them in private. What I'm doing isn't cosmetic. It's foundational. I didn't just fix what was seen. I rebuilt what was buried. You won't have to strive for attention. The light I've placed within you will draw the right eyes, at the right time, for the right reason. Your life will speak when your mouth remains silent. I am causing your fruit to grow in full view, not for show, but for testimony. Those who saw you in the middle of your wrestling will now witness the outcome of your yielding. And they won't be drawn to your image, they'll be drawn to my imprint. I am the one crafting this unveiling. That's why you don't need to promote it. You don't need to rush it. You don't even need to defend it. I am the author, and I will release it at the appointed moment. Don't be distracted by the pressure to post it, say it, explain it, or compare it. Your journey is not a performance. It's a procession, holy, steady, and purposeful. What's happening in you isn't for reaction, it's for revelation. My glory doesn't scream, it settles. It sits upon those who have made space for me, not just in public, but in the private chambers of the soul. And that's you. I've watched you hand me pieces no one else even knew were broken. I've watched you allow me to do the slow, sometimes painful, unseen work. And now, that surrender is going to carry weight. Not just influence, impact. Your presence will speak before you enter a room. Your peace will calm storms without words. Your endurance will testify of a grace that the world cannot manufacture. Don't interrupt the unveiling by trying to explain it prematurely. Trust that I will speak for you, move through you, and confirm everything I've promised with results that cannot be argued. The ones who once questioned your process will be the first to recognize the fruit. And they will know, this wasn't strategy. This was surrender. What I've placed in you will reveal itself with precision. No loud entrance. No need for applause. Just quiet power and visible transformation that proves I was at work the entire time. Let me finish it. Let me reveal it. Let me be the one who speaks through your life in a way that no speech could ever accomplish. You don't need to say it. I will show it. What you see today may seem quiet, even insignificant, but I want you to trust what I'm building beneath the surface. Don't measure your progress by what your eyes can capture, because what's developing right now is not loud, but it's lasting. Every step you've taken in obedience, every moment you've continued when quitting seemed easier, every silent prayer you whispered instead of complaining. It's all growing something far greater than you know. Seeds don't shout when they break open underground. Roots don't announce themselves when they anchor deeper into the earth. But without those silent miracles, nothing above could stand. And that's what I'm doing in you. You've looked around and wondered if it's working, if it's worth it, if the sacrifice matters. But I'm telling you now, what you're carrying is not going to stay hidden. It's maturing. It's stretch you. It's becoming. And though it feels small today, I'm multiplying it with my breath. I never called you to chase immediate recognition. I called you to walk in daily faithfulness. Because greatness in my kingdom doesn't begin with flashes, it begins with roots. And you've been letting me shape the part of you that nobody claps for, nobody sees, nobody asks about, and that's exactly why I trust you with more. You didn't demand a platform. You didn't push open doors. You remained planted when the wind blew strong and others moved on. That is why I'm increasing you. Not all at once, but all on time. The thing that feels small right now, the dream, the assignment, the gift, it's not weak. It's holy. And holiness doesn't rush. Holiness grows by depth. I've been preparing you for what others are racing toward, and when I unveil what I've been cultivating, it won't need to shout. It will speak by fruit. I'm not giving you something that flickers under pressure. I'm forming something that burns steadily through seasons. That is why you must keep walking. Don't freeze because you can't see the finish line. Don't shrink because others seem farther ahead. Your pace isn't your standard, my voice is. I will lead you step by step. And every act of obedience, no matter how ordinary it seems, is sacred to me. Keep writing what I tell you. Keep serving when no one notices. Keep showing up even when you're exhausted. Keep believing when the results feel delayed. Because you are not walking in circles, you are advancing into promise. The ground beneath your feet is being prepared for harvest. I've already sent the rain. I've already ordered the sunlight. And now I'm asking you to trust the time. When it bursts forth, it will not be small. It will be strong, unshakable, undeniable. And it will be mine. I will put my signature on what you build with me. It won't be touched by ego or comparison. It will be filled with purity and presence. And no opposition will be able to stop it. What feels tiny now will soon tower with my glory. What began in secret will bless those you've never even met. And all of it started here, in the quiet, in the obedience, in the walk. So don't stop. Don't stall. Don't second guess. Just stay close. Let me guide your every step. What I've begun, I will finish. What feels buried is about to break through. And when it does, you'll realize this was never small. It was sacred. And now it's unstoppable. You've waited for a word, a sign, a moment that would settle the wrestling inside you. And now I am giving it to you, clearly and without delay. You are walking under my covering. This path, though it has twisted, darkened, and narrowed at times, has never been outside of my oversight. I have ordered each step, even the ones you thought were stumbles. I have aligned events around you to protect your purpose even when you didn't realize you were in danger. The questions you carried, is this the right direction? Did I miss something? Am I where I'm supposed to be? I am answering all of them now. Yes, you are where I want you. No, you are not lost. Yes, my hand is still upon you. The delays didn't cancel your assignment. The detours didn't invalidate your calling. I was in the hesitation, the pauses, the sudden redirections, all of it working for glory far beyond your understanding. You looked for lightning in the sky or a voice from the clouds, but I've been confirming things quietly through peace that passes logic, through doors that opened in silence, through strength that returned when you had none left. And today, I want you to walk with a new confidence, not arrogance, not striving, but unshakable awareness that you are mine and I am leading you. You're not moving toward victory. You're walking from it. The outcome is not uncertain. I've already declared it finished. I've already marked the end with triumph. So stop fearing what's ahead as if I didn't already see it. Stop treating the unknown like a threat. I dwell in what you haven't reached yet, and I've already made it holy ground. I am not waiting for you to prove yourself. I am waiting for you to believe me. The truth is, your belief unlocks what your effort never could. When you trust my word, doors don't just open, they align. Favor doesn't just find you, it surrounds you. And purpose doesn't just survive, it flourishes. The atmosphere around you is changing because heaven is backing your movement. You are no longer walking alone. You are advancing with angels dispatched, with grace overflowing, with divine momentum that no force of darkness can reverse. I've anointed your pace. I've gone before you to remove barriers. And I've sent my spirit to dwell within you, so even when your emotions waver, my presence will not. I want you to stop waiting for another confirmation and start living like the answer has already been given. This is your moment to shake off fear, to break partnership with hesitation, to throw off the garments of doubt that once weighed you down. I've dressed you in boldness now. I've clothed you in clarity. The confusion that used to cloud your mornings is lifting. The burdens that used to sit heavy on your chest are dissolving. I am declaring your path blessed, not because it's easy, but because it's covered. Not because it's predictable, but because it's protected. Your next steps may stretch you, but they will also shape you. You may feel the stretching, but you won't feel lost. You may feel the challenge, but you won't feel crushed. That's the power of walking in alignment with me. What once felt heavy now feels holy. What once felt risky now feels right. This is not just the next season. This is the unveiling, the revealing, the confirmation wrapped in manifestation. You won't need to look back for proof anymore. You'll see it in real time. I'm not just with you. I'm ahead of you. I've called you. I've kept you. And now, I'm releasing you into the fullness of what I prepared before you ever asked. So walk forward. Head high. Heart steady. Steps ordered. Your path is blessed, not by chance but by covenant. And nothing can reverse what I've spoken over you. You've stepped through the doorway, but what's inside will require a different kind of faith. Not the kind that waits for instructions, but the kind that walks even when the map is blank. This next part is not about rehearsing what you've already learned. It's about relying on what I've deposited in you without needing external assurance. You've crossed through so much, battlefields that left others broken, storms that silenced louder voices, moments of pressure that could have made you retreat. But you didn't. And now, I'm bringing you into a new realm where the atmosphere is unfamiliar, but the access is undeniable. You're going to see doors open before you speak. You'll see alignment without effort. But don't mistake the ease of entrance for a lack of weight. This place carries glory, and glory demands reverence. I'm not just trusting you with blessing, I'm trusting you with stewardship. I didn't prepare you just to enjoy this space. I prepared you to shift it. You are not stepping into comfort. You're stepping into influence. And that influence won't come through titles or platforms, but through the quiet authority of someone who's been with me. That's what changes rooms. That's what rearranges atmospheres. And that's what will make what's ahead undeniable. The conversations you're about to walk into will seem casual, but they will carry eternal consequence. The decisions you make in this season will shape more than your own journey. They'll echo into the lives of those watching you quietly, waiting to see if you'll still choose me now that the waiting is over. And I know you will. I know because I've seen the depth of your yes when there were no promises, only obedience. That yes is what I'm honoring. That yes is why the foundation beneath you won't crack when things move quickly. That yes is what keeps you grounded when people begin to notice. You won't be swayed by applause because you weren't fed by it. You won't crumble under pressure because you weren't built on attention. You were built in secret, fed by my voice, strengthened in the fire, trained in the wilderness. And now, You'll walk among those who have never seen your struggle but will benefit from your obedience. This is where the fruit appears. This is where the harvest begins. But remember, this isn't the end goal. This is just another part of the journey. I'm not done. I'm just starting. What I've placed in you is still unfolding, still maturing, still expanding. Don't become complacent in the comfort of fulfilled promises. Lean in even deeper. Listen even more closely. Stay just as dependent. Because the higher I lift you, the more clearly others will see me through you, if you stay surrendered. Let me keep shaping your responses. Let me keep refining your motives. Oh, settle now. Don't shrink now. There's more. Not more striving, more surrender. Not more proving, more trusting. I'll keep leading. You keep following. And together, we will walk into spaces no one thought possible, not so you can be seen, but so I can be known. And every step from here on will carry the fragrance of faithfulness, because you chose the narrow road, and I've chosen to bless every inch of it. Amen.